Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another episode of ASKgufish. Let's just jump straight to your questions. Hey, have you checked out the new Solar Singlecut? Week 2 of a joke that just does not get old, apparently. Man, talking about YouTube, I subbed and belled, but got the notification 17 hours after you release the video. Yeah, so if you ring the bell, you've got a better chance of YouTube letting you know when I upload a new video. But notifications only seem to work when they feel like working. So instead of relying solely on YouTube to get its act together, I'm gonna start doing what I see other YouTubers doing. So you should still ring the bell for notifications, but I'll also be tweeting out the video links as soon as they go live. So if you want arguably more reliable notifications, link to my Twitter is in the description. Hey, have you seen the new Singlecut Solar by any chance? I mean, I've heard about it. Did you see the new stuff that Jackson has been pumping out? I've never been a huge Jackson guy, but these models look awesome. I did, and it's actually so hard to keep up with all the exciting new models that are being released this year from all the brands. Literally everyone is upping their game. Gibson is back, LTD and Schecter have some super interesting new additions to the current lineups. Ibanez has a bunch of models even I'm excited about this year. So what has Jackson entered the ring with for 2019? Well, a lot. So for the sake of time, I'm just gonna point out a few of my personal favorites. On the more affordable X series front, we've got the Soloist SLX Crackles. These have basswood bodies, one-piece maple necks with graphite reinforcement, and 24 fret Laurel fingerboards with a compound 12 to 16 inch radius. For functional appointments, we're looking at a Floyd Rose Special Tremolo and Duncan design pickups. So not the most premium features, but obviously that's not the reason that I'm drawn to these guitars. That would be the finish. These $699 guitars come in a satin cracked finish with your choice of either orange or green magma. The finish isn't just on the front of the body, but also on the back of it, and even on the back of the neck. So it might make for a really fun mod project. Then the new X Series Kellys are definitely very eye-catching. These have one-piece maple neck-through construction with basswood body wings and rosewood fingerboards, again with the compound radius. The one in the black finish is my favorite. The Floyd Rose Special and tuners come in gold, while the pickup rings and Jackson pickups are a white plastic. Then a step up with the Pro Series, Jackson is doing some serious work. There's a new Monarch SCG, which is their take on a traditional gold top that's been hot rodded Jackson style. While most of the specs are what you'd expect from an LP-inspired guitar, they've also included a Seymour Duncan JB59 pickup combo, compound radius ebony fingerboard with Jackson shark fin inlays, and the set mahogany neck has 2 graphite reinforcement rods to improve neck stability. Meanwhile, the soloists have gotten some striking new additions. My favorites are the SLP variants, specifically the 7-string hardtail. This one has a mahogany body with a one-piece maple neck, also with graphite reinforcement running through the entire body, and a 12 to 16 inch radius ebony fingerboard. For pickups, Jackson has included dual Seymour Duncan SH6 distortion humbuckers. Then they've given the guitar a burled maple top and a gloss finish they're calling Northern Lights, kind of a purple-blue burst with a matching reverse headstock. Speaking of which, is it just me or does that headstock look absolutely enormous? Yeah, but overall this kinda looks like the latest example of the direction that modern metal guitars are going in 2019 with bright finishes and or popular burl tops. Going by looks alone, this could easily fit into either Ibanez or Schecter's current lineup. And the last new Jackson models that caught my attention were Misha Mansour's new Pro Series signatures. Like the previous versions, these ones have basswood bodies with mostly satin finishes, but new for this iteration, the necks are one-piece caramelized maple. Then the fingerboards are also caramelized maple with rounded edges and a very flat 16-inch fingerboard radius. For the 6-string version, they come in black, blue frost, and quote maple chlorine burst. For the 7 strings, we have blue sky burst and neon orange. The first edition of the Pro Series Juggernaut HD6 was actually the first Jackson that I demoed on the channel, and I really liked it. It looks like with the introduction of the new ones, they'll be retiring the old ones with regular non-caramelized maple necks and ebony fingerboards, but that's okay because these look like they're more in line with the current USA specs. And the colors are better too. Matte blue frost? Yeah, give me that all day. Yeah, but I'm actually with you. Jackson is one of those brands that I'm generally not that into, with the exception of ESP, and pretty much just because I just love the Eclipse to death. I'm usually just not into those brands with reputations for making modern pointy metal guitars. That being said, I'm trying to be more open-minded this year. Those Misha guitars in particular look interesting. Or at the very least, they'll get views. What can I tell you? Sometimes you just gotta play the YouTube game. But what do you think of the new Jackson lineup? Anything catch your eye? What do you want to see demos of? You can let me know in the comments, and you can vote in the poll. But have you seen the new Singlecut Solar? Yeah, I think I've seen something about it somewhere. A review of NK Headless Guitars would be epic. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this NK brand. I think a lot of people are curious about headless guitars and want one in their stable, but don't want to pay like Strandberg or Kiesel prices for one. Like, you don't see them at Guitar Center all that often, unless you get lucky with the used section, and for me, I know I wouldn't want to shell out money for a premium headless unless I know I'm gonna like it. Enter NK Guitars, a company which specializes in sub $500 headless instruments that look surprisingly nice and ship direct from China. They seem to have two basic models. The first is a direct copy of Strandberg. Not a huge fan of that. I know, I demoed just about every Les Paul inspired guitar under the sun, including ones that even copy the shape directly, but with those shapes, they've been around so long you can't really mess with them too much. Guitarists like what they like. With these ergonomic headless body shapes, they're still relatively new and novel, at least compared to like a 70-ish year old Telly, so there's a lot more freedom to be creative, and they haven't taken it, and that's disappointing. The other one they have, I'll be the first to admit I'm not too familiar with headless body shapes, but I think it's an original. It's actually pretty sick looking. It's multi-leveled, it's beveled. If it came in all black, that would be the guitar that Batman would definitely play. And in general, the finishes actually look pretty cool. Bright colors, surprisingly good looking wood veneers, flame maple necks, glow-in-the-dark side dots, but to be honest, the company seems kind of sketchy to me. Apart from straight up copying the Strandberg shape, they also don't have a website. You can only get them through listings on online marketplaces, eBay, Reverb, and AliExpress. And maybe I haven't looked hard enough, but it doesn't look like it's easy to get in direct contact with them outside of messaging through those third-party platforms. There are no names, no publicly listed email addresses. I mean, yeah, you'll have protection through those marketplaces, but it seems a little sketchy to me. Personally, I've never really gotten the whole headless thing. I think they look really weird, but I am curious enough that I'm interested in spending a significant amount of time with one to make a demo, just not curious enough to spend my own money on a brand with unproven QC consistency that's difficult to contact directly. Low-cost guitars shipping from the opposite side of the world with no website? Yeah, I don't know about that. And before you say, yeah, but Hunter Harley Benton doesn't have a website either, well, yeah, but that's Thoman's house brand, and Thoman is a reputable company. So personally, I'm not too inclined to demo one, but obviously I make content for you guys. Do you want a demo of an NK headless? Yes? No? Maybe we'll just wait for the inevitable Harley Benton headless? Let me know in the poll. But, have you seen the new Singlecut Solar? Oh. You need to see if you can get a made in Mexico Meteora on. It's everything everyone wanted, and at a decent price too. I completely agree. That would be amazing. So if you missed it, the Fender Meteora was one of those guitars that was announced a while ago as part of their alternate reality series, basically mixing and matching combinations of their existing models so they're familiar, but at the same time completely different. Think Star Trek, like an evil Spock version of the Stratocaster. But anyways, back to the Meteora. It's essentially what would happen if you took a Telecaster and a Jaguar, kind of, it's not quite a Jag body, and smushed them together into something weird, but interesting. But it did have a pretty high price of admission. When it first launched, it was US made only and came in at $2,000. Now, I'm all for top quality American made guitars, but I think for a lot of people, or maybe I'm just speaking for myself, if I'm gonna spend $2,000 on a Fender, I'm going with a classic, a Tele or a Strat. The Meteora, it's more of a novelty, and it's a harder sell at that price. So Fender has released a more affordable made in Mexico version of the Meteora. This one comes in at half the price of the American made version and fits in with their Player series, but there are more differences than that. Right now it comes in 3 finishes: Candy Apple Red, Lake Placid Blue, and my current favorite Fender finish, Surf Green. We've got an alder body, a 22 fret Palfaro fingerboard, and a maple neck with a modern C shape. So actually even the construction materials are different. The American version comes with an ash body and a maple fingerboard. Then instead of a Tele-style electronics layout, there are 2 splittable Player Series humbuckers and a Tune-o-matic style bridge, which Fender calls an adjust-o-matic bridge, with string-through construction. So it's more of like a string-through Jag Paul as opposed to a Tele-Jag. So yeah, even though it has the same name and same body shape, it seems like a completely different guitar compared to the version that was announced last year. Still seems like a pretty cool, albeit safer guitar in its own right though. But what do you think of the new Meteora? love it, wish they kept it closer to the American version? Let me know in the poll. And before we get into the last question, I want to give a shout out to Amy, Christine, and the rest of the patrons for making this content possible in trash CPM February. If you want to support the honest reviews and coverage, you can check out my Patreon for bonus perks or my merch store. The shirts are actually super soft. That support is what makes all this happen, so thank you. Also wanted to give you a quick update on channel stuff. It's been a little quiet on the High Integrity front, but both the Hello Kitty and Sam Ash Patreon mod projects are still underway. It's just hard to find time in between all the regular weekly AskGufish episodes and guitar demos. And lastly, I did post it to my story, but not everyone saw it. Congratulations to Kickflip Cat for winning the 10S GF Relic that I was giving away on Instagram. The first riff he'll apparently be playing is Baby Shark, do do do, do do do. Fair enough, I guess. You gonna try one of Solar's new LP style guitars on the channel? Alright Ola, I beg, Ola. Let's make this happen. You can make this stop, Ola. And that will do it for this week's episode of Ask-A-Fish. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You can also turn on notifications by ringing the bell, or of course follow me on Twitter. Social media, Patreon, and merch links are down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.